At her new school, Sarah befriends a trio of outcast girls who are rumored to be witches. To be fair, not at first, because Nancy is kind of like, can't sit with us.
Yeah, you can't sit with us.
Yeah. And on Wednesdays, we wear black. Actually, every day.
Every day we wear black. I guess you can throw in a little bit of white.
Once in a while. Hello, my lovely mystical beings. Welcome to the Allied Rebels podcast, a show about video games, movies, pop culture, and all things magical.
Starwipe.
Yeah. I am your host, Roxxy, and joining me is the ever-enchanting Dee.
Oh my god. Hey.
Hey, girl. How's it going?
It's going pretty well. How about you?
It's going amazing.
Fantastic.
Super excited about today's episode. We are going to be talking about one of our favorite films.
Yes.
The Craft.
Hell yeah.
Oh, so amazing. Cannot wait. But let's just catch up a little bit because it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
A little bit.
What's new with you, Dee?
I don't know if it qualifies as new, but I played a lot of DBD. I actually played Killer online for the first time. Granted, it was not for the first time. I guess I played it like multiple times in a row on purpose for the first time. But the people I played with, my brother and my godson, they always got so mad at me because I don't like killing people on that game. So I kept going like telling people to go the other way, like when they're coming, like move, go, you know, like trying to signal to them, like they're over here, run that way. Yeah, so
fun times.
Yeah. And then a new obsession is 7 Days to Die, because the PlayStation 5 one came out just recently. And I've been playing a ton of that with my brother-in-law, and one of my friends, or one of our friends.
Yeah, that's so cool because Nico plays that a lot with one of our friends. And I would have never thought you'd play it, not because it was your type of game, just because I guess they played it on the PC. That's where they play it. So I didn't think about the PlayStation version. So that's really cool. That's another game that I've only played a handful of times, but I like those type of games.
Me too.
Like the builder and all that stuff. So it sounds fun. I mean, this is why you're gonna like Pal World.
I know.
So
there's no Blood Moon in Pal World though, is there?
Probably not. No. But it's still fun. So
well. Okay, enough about my boring life. Let's talk about yours. I live vicariously through you sometimes.
Girl, bye. But we watched the movie Long Legs. It's a horror movie. Has Nicolas Cage. And kind of disappointed in it. We could talk about that another day. But I would just really want a good scary movie.
Yes.
So bad. And the problem with this one is it had so much potential. Loved a lot of things about it. There's just a kind of a letdown. But another thing that I've been doing is still playing Pal World, still grinding, and hopefully you'll get it soon and we can play it because I know you kind of go between DVD and 7 days and you have to stick a little time in there for Pal World.
Good old Pal World.
Yes. Oh, another movie that I'm it's just a classic. Okay, it's not, but it's amazing to our little millennial hearts is that Spice World movie with the Spice Girls. And I want to talk about that sometime soon because it's just so great. It's so cringy probably, but I'm still going to love it. And then I also got The Craft. So we watched it together and it's just so good. I love it.
Oh, I forgot. Speaking of movies, I saw Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, right.
Fantastic.
Everyone's saying it's amazing.
I have not smiled or laughed through an entire movie ever. Like there's like pauses and stuff in most movies, but like I think I probably had a shit-eating grin most of the time while I was watching that movie.
I know. We're like, we need to go watch it before it gets out of theaters because we kind of, Nick and I both got a little bit of that Marvel burnout, but we definitely want to go see it. I love Hugh Jackman. Even though Wolverine was never my favorite character, I just like him as an actor and I thought he did a good job. So definitely we'll have to check that out. So I'm excited.
You will love it.
All right. So let's get into what we're here for.
Yes.
What we have gathered here today. I feel like we just need some candles and mood lighting and everything.
Oh, we should have.
Yes. So The Craft is a 1996 supernatural horror film that follows 4 outcast teenage girls at a Los Angeles parochial high school who pursue witchcraft for their own gain and subsequently experience negative repercussions. Yeah, sometimes you fuck around, you find out, but you know, you just gotta know how to do it right. I'm just saying.
Don't overuse it.
The Craft was theatrically released in the United States on May 3rd, 1996 by Columbia Pictures, and it was a surprise hit, earning $6.7 million in its opening weekend and $55.6 million worldwide against a budget of $15 million. So, you know, you could say they got their money's worth.
They definitely did.
The film received mixed reviews from critics who praised the film's cast and direction, but criticized its writing for succumbing to horror film cliches. I mean, I can kind of dispute that a little bit. I thought the writing was pretty good, and I think they did a good job with like really delving into the topic of the, you know, the movie. But I mean, you know, to each their own type thing. But
yeah, there's a few like plot holes. But then they were filled in like later in the movie. You know, just.
I mean, I do have gripes about certain things, which we'll get into later. But
so, you know,
yeah.
Overall, it still held up. Surprisingly so.
Yes. Oh my gosh, for so many reasons.
Here's the thing is like I never really considered it a horror film.
No, me either.
So when we were doing this research, I was like, horror film? Really? Okay.
I know. I mean, I can kind of see it now as a grown up. I just thought it was hella cool, but that's also because I wanted to be a cool gothic witch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Craft was nominated for Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and for Best Supporting Actress Fairuza Balk, and won the MTV Movie Award for Best Fight. In the years since its release, the film has gained a cult following. A sequel called Craft Legacy was released October 28th, 2020. But yeah, moving on.
I haven't seen it, but I did see a trailer, and like one of her friends said it was okay. That obviously didn't hold up to the first one, but I was like, this isn't for me. It felt too, I don't know, Gen Z to me, but that's just me.
That could be our biases.
It's true.
So
I suppose we're not always right, but
we're rarely wrong. So
yeah, let's just take that into consideration.
People are gonna think we're so like conceited sometimes, and that's true.
Absolutely,
indubitably. The concept for The Craft came from a collaboration between Douglas Wick, who wanted to create a film about the high school experience blended with witchcraft, and the screenwriter Peter Filardi, who extensively researched the topic and wrote the initial draft, and Andrew Fleming was hired to direct and produce the final version of the screenplay.
Came out with a good movie.
They did. They sure did. And I think they did it well. Bias.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
So, as far as production goes, they enlisted a real-life Wiccan named Pat Devon to act as an on-set advisor for the film. She wrote the incantations used and ensured that the treatment of the Wiccan subject matter was as accurate and respectful as possible. I just thought that was incredible.
Me too.
Honestly.
Super cool.
Honestly, even before knowing that, whenever I watched this movie, I just felt it was real. Like, I could see myself doing that or see other people doing that, and it just felt legit to me. So
right. And so, you know, like, I didn't grow up Catholic, but because of movies, I knew what they were doing, you know? And there was not very many movies that did feature Wiccan life and religion and all that stuff. So I thought it was really cool they went above and beyond.
Yes, absolutely. Filming began on May 1st of 1995 and wrapped up on July 19th, 1995. Shooting took place throughout Los Angeles, including the LA International Airport, Sunset Boulevard, and Broadway. Super popular areas over there.
I was so surprised when I read that they were actually filming there. I was like, holy crap.
Right. The setting for the fictional Catholic high school, St. Benedict's Academy, that they attended was actually a high school named Verdugo Hills High School. And the production designer, Marek Dobrowolski, added different religious statues throughout the building and the grounds. And yeah, it looks super legit too. Yeah, it was just great. A lot of details about this movie. I just thought it was so great.
Appreciate it even more.
Exactly. Just the acting was phenomenal. I think the direction was great. I think the story was pretty good. I mean, yeah, like I said, I feel like, yeah, there was some plot stuff, kind of missing, but it's just so good. I'm not biased. So we're not biased.
No, not at all. Yes, they are. Sarah's home in the film was a 2-story Spanish mansion, and the interiors were built on a sound stage in Culver City Studios. So, like, the way that they built it, you know how sometimes you can tell it's a movie set, like, for sure. I thought that they used a real house. It was just like, I don't know, it felt right.
Right. And then this time around, like the last time we watched it, I was really trying to pay attention to the details. And like, I was like, oh, I bet you the staircase is kind of flimsy. And
same.
I'm like, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah, they did a hell of a good job. A popular place in the movie was the occult bookstore, and it was shot in El Adobe Marketplace in Hollywood Boulevard, which again blew my mind. Didn't know that. The room was repainted, and occult icons such as candles, stigmas, religious statues, masks, and tribal dolls were added for effect.
I love that. Little witchcraft store. It was awesome. Reminds us of the couple that we have here.
Yeah.
It's just like, again, I said it. I felt like I'm walking into the one we have here. It's just straight up legit.
I loved it. So cool. And the person running it was, well, one of our places now is pretty big, but like when it first started, there was only 1 or 2 people working there. And it was like, that was the vibe of it. Like, this is my place. You're welcome here. Just don't steal shit.
Yeah, pretty much. No 5-finger discounts here, okay?
I think everybody learned what that was from this movie.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know if I learned it from this movie exactly, but yeah, for a long time, I didn't know what that was. So, just so innocent.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the cast, because I just thought they were all phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
We can start off with the main character, pretty much, Robin Tooney. Her character's name was Sarah Bailey. She's a new girl in town who has struggled with depression and has a natural aptitude for magic. She represents the element earth in the film, like just her character in general, because she's just so grounded and natural, obviously. And another thing that we were talking about was just how much watching it again, like this last time, we both picked up so much that we haven't in the past. And it's just so wild. Like every time you watch it, I find new things or notice new things. And I love
cool.
it.
The attention to detail is amazing.
It was so good.
Fairuza Balk was Nancy Downs, a troubled goth girl who seeks to gain magical powers to better her life. However, her desire for power leads her down a increasingly dark path. So she was a no-no square.
Kind of was a bad bitch, but then she kind of,
she was a little too much of a bad bitch.
Yeah, let's just say.
But she represented the element of air.
Then next we have Neve Campbell. I always want to call her Neve.
I know you do.
So Neve Campbell played Bonnie, who is a shy girl and is extremely self-conscious about severe scarring on her body and wishes to become beautiful. She represents the element of fire, which I think is kind of ironic, seeing as she got her scars from a fire. But
I do love how she played this character.
Yes, I agree.
Perfectly. Super shy, contained, like always hugging herself, and then just, she came out of her shell when all that good stuff happened for them, which we'll get into later. Oh, yeah. And then we have Rachel True, or Rochelle. Yeah, I don't know why I just realized her name was Rochelle. Like, Left 4 Dead 2.
Yep.
The only black student in the school who's frequently bullied finds solidarity and comfort with other quote-unquote misfits. She eventually seeks revenge on her tormentors, racist pieces of assholes. And she represented the water. And she was on the dive team. Like,
that's perfect. I love it. I mean, yeah, I'd definitely probably be the water element too. Or the fire.
I mean, Scorpios are water.
But we're also can transport to the Phoenix fire.
Yep.
So we're just the best. I'm just saying.
Quite literally.
And then we also have Skeet Ulrich, who plays Chris Hooker. Sorry. A popular but entitled jock who Sarah develops a crush on. And he gets his comeuppance. Let's just say that.
Yeah. He does a no-no thing.
He was such a good actor, though.
Oh my God, yes. Him too. Like, this entire cast.
The cast was so great.
Yeah. And then we have Christine Taylor, or in the movie as Laura Lizzie. I was like, really? That name just kills me.
That is like a stereotypical, like, you know, Stacy. My name's Stacy Tracy.
Well, she was a popular but cruel girl. She bullied the misfits, particularly Rochelle, because, well, she's a twat. Not Rochelle, Laura Lizzie.
What a twat. And the thing is, I love the actress that played her.
Me too.
Oh, I loved her in the Brady Bunch as Marsha, and I liked her in Dodgeball. And yeah, she's a good actress, I will say. Because I hated her in this movie.
Zoolander.
Oh, yeah, Zoolander. Yeah. Oh, I just hated her seeing her. And seeing her in this character.
As a meanie face.
I know, just a poo-poo head.
Yes, stop it. Stop using such harsh language.
You dumb bitch.
My ears.
So moving on to the plot of the movie, we have Sarah Bailey, of course. She's a troubled teenage girl with unusual abilities. Let's just call it magic, people. Let's call it what it is.
Come on.
She moves from San Francisco to Los Angeles with her father and stepmother. At her new school, Sarah befriends a trio of outcast girls who are rumored to be witches. To be fair, not at first, because Nancy is kind of like, can't sit with us.
Yeah, you can't sit with us.
Yeah. And on Wednesdays, we wear black. Actually, every day.
Every day we wear black. I guess you can throw in a little bit of white.
Once in a while. Bonnie Harper bears burn scars from an auto accident. Nancy Downs lives in a trailer with her mother and abusive stepfather. And Rochelle Zimmerman is a black student who is subjected to racist bullying by a group of white girls. The girls worship a powerful earth deity they call Manon.
Popular jock Chris Hooker shows interest in Sarah, who reciprocates. When Bonnie observes Sarah levitating a pencil in class, she and the other outcast girls are convinced that she's their fourth for their coven, completing the air, water, earth, and fire circle and making them all powerful. As the girls walk home from school, Sarah's harassed by a vagrant who earlier had scared her with a snake when she moved into her new home. Totally fine, totally chill. Yeah, you're going to leave your door wide open while you're moving.
And this guy just walks in trying to give you a snake.
Yeah. But the vagrant later on chases Sarah, and then he gets hit by a car, and the girls believe they somehow worked together to cause the accident to happen, which strengthens their bond.
I mean, there's nothing that makes you closer together than murder, I suppose.
Well, you put it that way.
No, but yeah, I do feel like that was the catalyst of them forming their friendship and being like, yep, we are the circle. To be fair, they did cause it. I mean, I do believe that. She was their fourth and that their circle was complete.
True.
They could go out and do all that shit.
And they were literally slaying.
You got me there, yes. Slay witch.
Hey.
After a date with Chris, Sarah is upset that he spread a false rumor that they had sex.
No.
Yeah. Sarah casts a love spell on him, like, fuck you, to get him to be obsessed with her. Rochelle then casts a revenge spell on racist bully Laura Lizzie. Bonnie casts a spell for beauty on herself so she can be beautiful inside and out. And Nancy cast a spell for power, which is what she desires the most.
Just all the power.
All of it for her.
That's literally what she says. It's like, oh, okay, we're not going a little too crazy, are we?
Nope. The spells are successful. Chris becomes infatuated with Sarah. Bonnie's scars on her back miraculously heal.
Hold on. Do we know that it was actually the power or
the spell?
Menon? Or was it that miracle treatment that she was doing? We will never know.
True. Yes, it was science all along.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. That's what I believe. A little bit of both.
Okay.
The magic just helped it work better because it was still experimental. So it didn't work 100%.
Gotcha.
So, teamwork and all that. And then Rochelle's bully, Laura, begins losing her hair. Mm-hmm. And Nancy causes her stepfather to have a fatal heart attack, enabling her and her mother to cash in on his life insurance policy to move into a luxurious high-rise apartment.
Oh, darn. An abusive asshole died.
I mean, I will say, not that the guy didn't deserve it because he was a piece of shit. And Nancy, it's not that I have sympathy for her, but I understand why she has so much hatred in her and wants all that power because she feels so helpless and has a shitty life. But she's going down a dark path, man, of like, this is her second person she's technically killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a little scary. That being said, Nancy becomes power hungry and encourages the others to join her in the invocation of the spirit. Despite being warned against the spell by Lirio, the owner of the local occult shop, upon completion of the spell, Nancy is struck by lightning. The following morning, the girls see Nancy walking on water with beached sharks and other dead animals littering the shore. In the days that follow, Nancy becomes increasingly devoid of empathy and engages in risky behavior that endangers her life and those of others.
Yeah, at this point, she's just like power tripped. And
bitch went cray-cray.
Yeah, literally. It was like, I felt like Tyra Banks. I was rooting for you, girl. And I just wish that, I don't know. I just feel like that's my gripe with the movie. I don't know. That's the whole plot and the storyline. I get it. I just kind of wish, I don't know.
Okay, here's my thing. I love that they took like what was supposed to be like this strong bond, and instead of having an outside force coming to destroy it, it destroyed within itself to show you that if you misuse something, it will fuck you over.
That's true. Message.
So.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to be BFFs forever and stuff. And like, I like the idea of like them having a coven forever and, manifesting all the shit and everything. But absolutely, that is the ultimate message.
I do feel bad for the other two girls. I feel like it wasn't as fair for them because they didn't ask for like all the power in the world. They just asked for like a bully to stop and for themselves to feel beautiful again, So like,
yeah.
I get it, but
yeah, it does get messy and we'll kind of go over it in a little bit. But yeah, I know what you're saying. So the spells the girls cast eventually lead to negative consequences. Oh no, who would have thought?
No, the consequences of your action.
So Bonnie becomes aggressively narcissistic. Which is very different. Like, they literally all kind of flip their characters in a way, right? Mm-hmm. Rochelle finds Laura traumatized by her baldness, which with her, I don't think she necessarily changed that much in character, except that I feel like she was kind of afraid of herself in a way, or I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think she was noticing, like we said, she was like the most grounded besides Sarah. So I think she saw right away, like, whoa, I think we fucked up a little bit. But she wanted to keep going because they were her only friends in school.
Right. And I also think she was a good person. So even though this bitch was bullying her, I think she still felt bad.
Terrible. Yeah.
And I think she kind of came to the realization that they're fucking around, they're going to find out type thing, right? So beyond that, the obsessed Chris attempts to rape Sarah after she rejects his continual advances. It went literally from 0 to 5,000 in a second. And watching it again, I totally kind of forgot that part because I guess I remember him just being so obsessed with her and being in love. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing of like the discussion we were having last night. We're just really going into it, how I forgot that she was doing it from not a place of like she loved him and wanted him. She did have feelings for him, but it was more of a, I'm getting revenge for you making me feel bad. But here's the thing. I didn't think that was a bad thing. I wanted him to suffer a little bit.
Learn his lesson.
Yes, I agree. So
quit being a man whore that spreads rumors.
And diseases.
You can be a man whore, whatever, but keep it clean.
Let's keep it clean, people.
And wrap the peen.
I love it. It's great. So to punish Chris, Nancy was being a good friend.
For once.
Yeah. And she uses a glamour spell to disguise herself as Sarah and attempts to seduce him at a party, which, okay, that was... She just did it for her natural gain. It was...
I was just going to say that.
I know. Like, that's the thing. I wanted it to come from a good place from her, but the thing was that when you're watching the movie, you pick up the fact that Nancy had a thing for Chris and she slept with him and he just used her, but she still has a thing for him. She just pretends she doesn't and has the resentment. And she found out that Sarah has a thing for him and Chris has a thing for her. So that's where I think the jealousy stems from with Nancy and the hatred and that everything she wants to have no matter what.
Yep. I was about to interrupt you and I'm like, nope, let her keep going. Let her cook.
Yep.
And I was like, okay,
Call
she
me
said
saucy, because I'm cooking the sauce.
Oh my God.
So as all this is going on with Nancy disguised as Sarah, making out with Chris and all that, Sarah, the real Sarah, comes in, and I just love this too. Yes, block. And he like freaks out because for 1 second he's making out with Sarah on the bed.
Oh, they weren't making out.
Okay, you're right. They were like on third base about to hit a home run. Okay, so she is. Sorry,
baseball analogy.
Yeah, it was bottom of the ninth, third base.
Bases loaded.
Yes, let's just say
Ducks
that.
on the pond. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's fucking go. So Chris looks over at the door and there's Sarah, looks back to the bed and it's Nancy. And I mean, that'd be a mindfuck. Hi. I love that. So Chris obviously is fucking freaked out and upset about this whole thing, and accuses Nancy of being jealous, which it is true. That's ultimately what it comes down to, is Nancy was jealous of Chris liking Sarah. And in turn, Nancy just fucking flips her shit, freaks out, tells him, you don't even exist to me. I fucking love that. Yeah. And she basically uses her power to kill Chris by throwing him out the window. And at first, I thought it was going to go in the way of, like, he does it himself. Because I feel like she was trying to egg him on to do it himself. Of, like, you know what you need to do. And I thought for a second he was going to do it.
Right? Because she was telling him, like, all these women you use, I'm going to make you, like, pay for whatever. And Skeet Ulrich is just, like, an amazing actor. Unfortunately, he's not in a lot of stuff that I see anymore. So, like... He's so good.
Yeah, I think he plays a good villain too, though.
Yes,
that's the thing. He does. So he's a bad boy. But anyway, Rip, he passed. Well, his character passed.
Yes.
In the,
I was like, he didn't.
He didn't make it. the character, he didn't make it.
But is it Rip? I mean, it is, because it was a teenage boy. He could have learned his life lesson. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's very conflicting because on the one hand, he's a piece of shit. But on the other hand, like, murder is bad.
Yeah, and he's a teenage boy. He didn't, as much as we don't know the details, he never had raped somebody before. And he only attempted. Wow, that sounds like I'm making an excuse. That sounds terrible. Scratch everything I said.
Okay, well, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, was it the power, the spell that led him?
Yes.
Because it came from a dark place and that shit fucks with you.
Thank you. Okay.
Was it that, or was it, I don't know. It's hard to say. So it's like you're saying, I'm not trying to defend him. But was it that led that to happen?
Thank you. That I was like trying to find a way to form the words of like my thought.
I got you. I knew what you're saying, girl. I knew what you're saying.
But yeah, so it just everybody has a potential to learn from their mistakes and all that stuff. Everybody should have at least a few chances to prove that they've learned from everything that they've done before. So, but that's just. I'm trying to over-explain shit, okay? Sorry.
It's a very complex movie. It's so many things. Another thing I was going to say about that, too, was that it goes back to, like, a lot of things that Lirio says, the magic shop owner. There's no black or white magic. It all really depends on the person. What place are you coming from? Are you coming from a place of light or darkness? And I just love this movie.
It's perfect. Literally. And you can tell it is written by, or at least like heavily influenced by the Wiccan religion. I'm not Wiccan, but like.
Right. I'm not Wiccan either, but yeah. I liked all those aspects.
We can appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, moving on. Keep getting sidetracked. Sarah unsuccessfully attempts to do a binding spell to prevent Nancy from harming herself or others, and the coven turns on Sarah. The trio invades Sarah's dreams and torments her with swarms of scorpions, snakes, rats, and other insects, and make her believe her family died in a plane crash. Dick move. Okay, she had already lost her mom before she even knew her, you know?
Yeah.
Fucking horrible bitches. The coven then tries to drive Sarah to suicide. Although initially terrified, Sarah successfully invokes the spirit and manages to heal herself and fight back. She scares off Bonnie and Rochelle by showing them glamours in a mirror of Bonnie with her face scarred and Rochelle losing her hair like Laura. Sarah then defeats Nancy and binds her, preventing her from causing further harm forever.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love this whole scene of the movie.
It wrapped up quickly, but like
really well.
Perfectly.
Yes, really, really well. And that's the thing too, like, so Sarah early in the movie kind of brings up all these things that she fears and all these things that happen, like with her mom, and like basically her mom died at Sarah's birth. And they really throw that shit to her. And because she's such in a vulnerable state, she hadn't come into her full own power yet, right? And so those were her weaknesses. And Lyrio was trying to help her to invoke the power and believe in herself, essentially, right? And take that power. And she finally did, because the girls were literally, well, basically Nancy was trying to kill her. Like, she slit her wrist. She went up there. She thought she was going to die. And then she saw a picture of her mom. And I believe it was her mom actually there. Telling her, like, this is what you need to do, right? And that's what she needed to do the whole time, was call the power into herself.
Nancy needed a counterbalance to all the bad she was putting out in the world.
Exactly. And I do believe that the good always wins against the bad.
Right.
I know it's a cliche, but light over dark.
It eventually does, you know? And then another thing I was thinking of was, you know how Nancy needed everybody there to invoke Manon? And she did it all by herself. That just shows you who the more powerful witch was.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too. Nancy had such a shitty life. She really hated herself, and she just wanted more than anything to have her own power and confidence and stuff like that. And she saw that Sarah, even though she had gone through a lot of shit, was depressed, she was still so powerful into herself, because she was a good person. She was grounded. And Nancy was just jealous that she had the attention of Chris, jealous that she had all this natural power. And
she had everything she wanted.
Yeah. That's what it came down to. But yeah, and Sarah was just such a badass.
Yeah, and she was.
She was natural witch. And you're right. She did it all by herself. She don't need no other coven. No, just kidding.
Hell nah. No.
So to conclude, Bonnie and Rochelle find that their powers are gone, and they go visit Sarah in half-ass attempt to, you know, come to a reconciliation with her, only to find that she wants nothing to do with them, and that Manon took their powers away because they abused them, which... absolutely true.
Right.
And come on, do you really think that after you try to kill her, that she's going to want to be your BFF?
Right?
They're so fucking casual about it. They're like, hey, we're sorry about that. It was just a prank, bro. But like, if you want to just hang and chant, you know,
it's a prank hand. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, okay. So here's the thing for me. They were clearly afraid of Nancy, right? So a little bit was they're just trying to survive themselves, right?
I agree.
If they would have approached Sarah like that instead of like, hey, you don't have powers, do you?
It was just so casual.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then she probably doesn't have powers anyway.
I know.
I was like, that?
And then Sarah's like, bitch, watch. And she like invokes thunder and wind and lightning. And it's like, girl, bye.
I didn't abuse it.
Witch, please.
Oh, shit. Ex-witches.
Yeah, true. True. And then, you know, she warns them, be careful. You don't want to end up like Nancy. Because Nancy was committed to a psychiatric hospital. She's all delusional, thinking that she still can fly. I can fly.
I'm flying. Like, ooh.
I know. And it cuts out like this last scene is like the camera's just above her on the bed. She's strapped to the bed and her face is all like scratched up. Yeah. I love this movie.
Yeah. Rewatching, like, I watched it by myself. And then we watched it together with our other friend. And like we said, there's so many things that we didn't realize, you know, until watching it together.
Exactly. This was the first time I ever noticed that when Lirio, the store, you know, owner, gives her a book, it says The Craft on there. And I never noticed that until yesterday.
Right? You went, oh, I never noticed it. They did the thing. I was like,
they did it. We always say, they said it. And then I'm like, they wrote it. They read it.
They printed that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can't believe I never noticed that.
Well, and it's the book that they use the entire time.
Oh, see, I didn't notice.
Did you notice that?
I noticed they used a book. I just didn't know it was that one itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't show it until, like, they were in Nancy's, I think it was Nancy's apartment. And she, like, handed the book over. And it said The Craft on the back.
Okay, I didn't even pay attention there either.
And then whenever they opened the book, it was the same book, but it didn't always
show the cover. Yeah.
So
I knew it was like a black book and everything. I just the whole time I didn't know it was the same one that Sarah had. So, so good.
Okay, so one thing that I did notice when we were watching it together was the whole like animal or insect that represented them. Like Nancy's was the snake. For obvious reason. Bonnie's was a butterfly because obvious reason. She was in a cocoon and then she blossomed into a beautiful butterfly.
Narcissistic butterfly, but no.
Yeah, but okay, she was still beautiful. Okay, can't take that away from her.
No, you're right.
And then Rochelle, hers was a fish swimming in water.
She was a swimmer. She was the element of water.
Yep,
so
perfect for her. And then Sarah was the bird in the cage and her freedom and the earth elemental, like something that really represented earth.
Yeah.
Love.
Which, okay, I liked the whole, you know, aspect of it. I just don't think it was 100% well executed to me. But again, maybe there's reasons because of like the Wiccan that was on set was advising. But
the symbolism in the Wiccan community of those animals.
That makes sense. Because like, I think the fish was perfect for the water. I think the bird or the butterfly could have been air. And I feel like the snake could have been the earth. Because I know snakes have a really negative connotation in a lot of different religions and like, you know. But I feel like it's not always.
Right.
But I don't know. It could have been anything else, I guess. Like a groundhog or
I was just going to say groundhog.
I don't know why. Then I started thinking Hufflepuff. Like, I don't know. Just like ground things.
That's just hilarious. I was about to go groundhog and then you start.
Get out of my head, Nancy. Just kidding.
Oh, I don't want to be Nancy.
No, you're not. You're Bonnie because you're beautiful.
And narcissistic, apparently.
No. But that being said, though, growing up, I'm not crazy, but the thing is, I liked Nancy's character until she went psycho because I liked her aesthetic. I like how she was spunky. But I think I definitely probably resonate more with either Sarah or Rochelle.
Yeah. I always obviously liked Sarah the best because I also really liked Bonnie, but I didn't like her toward the end. So that made me, you know, like, so I'm like, okay, no, I do like Rochelle too. I just didn't like Nancy.
Yeah.
I appreciated her style. I love that, but I didn't like Nancy because I'm like, she's just a bitch.
She's a lovable bitch.
Minus the lovable.
You're right. No, yeah, I did like her, and I mean, obviously, I think the acting was great. She's a phenomenal actress, so great. I think a lot of other people know her mainly from Waterboy. Yeah. Yeah, that's where Nico knew her from anyway. another thing we were talking about was the symbolism of the clothes they were wearing.
Oh, yes.
So in the beginning, Sarah was wearing neutral type of colors. And as soon as she started hanging out with them, she started wearing the black, the white, like the goth punk rock look. That was awesome. I love it. And then as soon as like she started seeing all this stuff getting into Nancy's head, I felt like she started going back to her own. And she's like, I don't want to be part of this anymore, because that's just not who she was. She wasn't a bad witch.
Yeah, she had pieces of her outfit that was still black. But what other character was not always in black?
Rochelle, and even Bonnie to a certain extent.
Yeah, but hers was more.
Because I noticed Rochelle wore a lot of gray too. And so the scene I think about a lot is the beach scene.
Yep.
And both Bonnie and Rochelle are wearing gray clothes and Sarah's wearing brown. And then obviously Nancy's wearing black. And to me, it's just like the straight up symbolism of like Sarah's grounded. Nancy's all the way to the opposite end of craziness. And then both Rochelle and Bonnie are in the middle. They're kind of like,
they're literally both.
And that's the thing, like going back to it, like you were saying, you don't really blame them so much. I agree too. And that's what bothers me though, is I feel like, I don't know, it's not necessarily a problem with the writing that I have. It's more like, I guess, the character progression. I felt like they went from good to evil in a hot second. And I wish there was more of a progression for me.
I think it was supposed to though, because the way Lirio explained it is you get it 3 times. So the thing was slow to progress when they got the things that they wanted, right? And so if you go 3 times faster, it's going to accelerate faster. Like the negative thing's going to hit you faster and harder.
I guess that's a good way to explain it. That's the way I think it. Yeah. To me, the way I explained it was because they were trying so long to get all these things and they couldn't because they didn't have their 4th. When they finally were able to, it was like, holy fuck. And you feel elated. You're like kind of drunk on the power. And especially with Nancy being basically the leader, they're kind of looking up to, vibing off of. And yeah, at a certain extent, I feel like they were kind of intimidated by her and they followed her lead. And Nancy even said it in the scene where they're driving and Nancy's driving recklessly, basically going through red lights. And Sarah's like trying to be like, hey guys, like, let's think about this. And Nancy's like, are you trying to turn them against me? Don't even try it. You can't. They don't think.
Yep.
Basically, like, yeah, they're going to do what Nancy says because that's just how it's always been. And they're scared of her. So, like, I try to justify it that way of how shitty they were with Sarah because they were scared of Nancy.
Yeah.
And it's still not good, but,
They're also teenage girls. Well,
that happened. That's the thing. We had to think about that because honestly, that is what happens. Come on. Think about it when you were a teen. You're so easily influenced and you so want to fit in. Yeah. And that's how it goes. Well, some people. Yeah. Times be tough.
Oh, yeah. But really.
Anywho, let's segue into a little bit of trivia because we love our trivia.
Yes, we do.
So, one thing that I didn't know for a long time was that Rachel True, who played Rochelle, was 30 years old.
Yeah, I think I remember this because I told my sisters this, and I'm like, guys, did you know that the person who played Rochelle in The Craft was 30? And they're like, yeah, you told us that fact years ago. I was like, oh. Well, I remembered it because we researched.
Well, I'm telling you too.
So, like, apparently I did know that in the past, and I just
I just think it blows me away.
She looks the youngest.
She's so freaking beautiful, and to this day, she still looks the same.
Yes,
she actually really is a witch.
Yes,
I'm not even joking though. She actually does practice.
I know,
and so I'm just saying,
it's not fair.
It's not fair.
The script was actually reworked in order to cast Rachel True, and the subplot of her racist bully played by Christine Taylor was added unbeknownst to Rachel. Originally, Rochelle's character's arc revolved around an eating disorder, which I think would have been better, personally.
I think that they could have had that with one of the other characters, maybe. I mean, because it's true, like the whole arc with that, like it's hard to watch. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's really hard to watch. It's like, ugh, just want to punch
fucking bitch.
Laura Lizzie in the face. But yeah, so, I mean, that's a hard topic too. I'm not saying it's not. It's just, So 85 other actresses screen tested for the 4 main roles, including Angelina Jolie, Scarlett Johansson, and Alicia Silverstone. I thought that was pretty interesting. I could have seen Angelina Jolie being probably Nancy.
Yeah.
But she would have fucking killed it.
I could see ScarJo either being Nancy or Bonnie.
I was thinking Bonnie for sure, 100%. And then Alicia Silverstone, I could probably see her as Sarah the most out of any of them. But yeah, can you believe it? As if. Yeah. Another fabulous movie.
Oh, yeah.
Clueless. Yeah.
Robin Tunney was initially cast in the role of Bonnie, but the producers decided she would be better suited for the role of Sarah, which she was persuaded to accept despite preferring the former. Which I did not know that at all, because I was like, she is Sarah. Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't see her as Bonnie at all.
Mm-mm.
That's Nev's role for sure. So I think that was a good choice. Good
I agree.
Choice. So Holly Marie Combs, who starred as Piper Halliwell in Charmed, was considered for the role of Bonnie, but, eventually went to Neve Campbell.
I could totally see it.
Yeah. So Charmed is a show that I've always wanted to watch that you told me about
so many times.
I know, so many times. I'm gonna watch it. I think I'll probably like it.
Yes, yeah, it is very much you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Charmed, the Smith song How Soon Is Now, covered by Lovespit. Love was used as a theme song for The Craft and Charmed. So like when it was playing in the movie, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. The first version of it I heard was from Tattoo, and then from the Smiths, because I just love the Smiths. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. So Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich, Bonnie and Chris, they both followed up The Craft with another horror movie, Scream.
Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't actually. So Drew Barrymore was initially signed on to play Sydney Prescott, which I didn't know that. But a conflict with another project forced her to change her role to that of Casey Becker, which is the first person that dies in the movie. So even though she wasn't on there for very long, everybody knows that scene. Everybody knows that she's that character that dies. I mean, literally in Scary Movie, that was one of the big scenes in the movie. But it's a good one. I like that.
It is.
Scary Movie.
What did we say yesterday? Have you heard of that movie? Because Nico said Scary Movie. You said, yeah, that other less known one. I said, oh, wait. Oh, yeah. The Yell.
Holler.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, we just kept adding on and on and on.
Good times.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Neve was initially hesitant to follow up The Craft with another horror film, but Scream would be her first leading role, and she did amazing.
She did okay.
No, girl, bye. And of course, Skeet Ulrich again played a fabulous maniac in that movie. So good.
So hot. What?
Huh?
Somebody's throwing my voice around here.
Ooh,
speaking truth.
I'm not doing glamour, I swear.
There were short-lived plans for a straight-to-DVD sequel focusing on Nancy's character. Despite opening at number 1, mass cult success in the prayers of Goth girls everywhere, it never happened.
I know. I would have liked to see that.
If they would have gotten the original cast members to be there, yes, I would have liked to see it. But if not, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. But that's the thing with The Craft, The Legacy, the second one. That's why I'm like, I don't really want to watch it. Right. Even though our friend said it was all right. I just don't want to watch it. It's not the same cast. But we'll see. Maybe one day I will.
One day. When you're bored.
Mm-hmm. So despite following guidelines for PG-13 movies, the MPAA gave the movie an R rating. And the director, Andrew Fleming, suspects it was just for the fact that the teen girls are experimenting with witchcraft. Because that's spoopy.
Right, that's scary. People.
I mean, honestly, if you're going to give it an R rating, I feel like he should have added more R-rated stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're going to make me do it anyway.
Fuck it. Let's say fuck a bunch more times.
Yeah. Fuck, shit, fuck. Fuck. Sorry. Well, too many.
Too many.
Bleep, bleep, bleep,
Yeah,
bleep, bleep,
cut it.
bleep.
Yeah. Relax.
Calm down.
Calm down.
This one was really cool. I wish they would have actually kept this, but there was a deleted scene where Sarah visits Nancy in the mental hospital and tries to help her get better. So she still does not give up on Nancy. She wants her to get better. That's why I love Sarah so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she kept the other two in place, kept them in check, and still was trying to go help Nancy. I don't know. I just loved it.
Yeah, I think that would have been interesting. I mean, I wonder what would have happened if she, would have been able to help her, because maybe she was too far gone at that point. But
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? So Fairuza Balk, playing Nancy, she didn't actually have to get covered in bugs for the filming. Thank God.
All right.
Thank Manon. They used special effects to make...
Okay.
That's pretty good.
That tickled me.
Hey. So they used special effects to make it look like they were crawling on her, but they actually shot the bugs crawling over a dummy, which we were talking about how the special effects in this movie were so good for their time.
Yeah.
They used a little bit of CGI in that you're like, okay, yeah, you can see it. Like when,
cheesy.
when Nancy gets electrocuted, it's super fake, right?
And
I mean, you
the
can tell.
snakes,
Snakes.
silhouettes and the finger.
Finger thing, yeah. But a lot of this stuff was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Like, it aged really, really well. But yeah, that I just remember us both like, ugh.
Yeah.
Just goosebumps from the parts with, I can't do the roaches, like the snake. The snakes is I don't like it. I didn't like any of it, let's just say.
Right.
But the maggots and the roaches were, the worst.
Mine were the rats and the roaches. Like when the rats dropped on top of her.
Oh, yeah. Also the scorpions and this, I don't know. I just,
Like if I had to do it and you pay me a lot of money, yeah, you could drop a rat on me. But
it's going to run you about $1 million.
Only $1 million? $1 million a rat, okay?
So bring out 100 rats.
Well, no, I don't want that. I can't take it.
You'll have enough money for therapy for the rest of your life. Yes, you will.
No. Okay.
Well, I figured I'd pull my, twist my arm about it, I guess.
But anyway, moving on from all the icky, grossy stuff. The glamour scene was even more interesting than you think. Robin Tunney, who was Sarah, obviously, had just finished her role as Deb in Empire Records, another fantastic movie.
Good movie.
Since she shaved her head in the film, her head during the entire filming of The Craft was a wig. We could not get over that.
I know. So many times last night I was like, oh my God, her wig. How the fuck? Like, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the thing is, first of all, we watched it in 4K. Mm-hmm. So I think you could see if you really paid attention and really, really looked.
You had to focus.
You could see a little bit of the lace. But even then, it was still a good wig. You could tell it was still fucking good.
Mm-hmm. Like
someone that's not, looking for that, you're not going to really see it.
Yep.
So obviously, if you watch it in Blu-ray or regular DVD, you probably couldn't tell at all.
Right.
But it was awesome. They did such a good job.
They really, really did. Impressed.
Very. So Fairuza Balk is a Wiccan in real life, and she eventually purchased the pagan store Panpipe's Magical Marketplace, which was the place she frequented to do her research for the role of Nancy. Panpipe's Magical Marketplace claims to be the oldest occult store in the country, and it has been used as filming locations for different shows and things that, feature witchcraft stuff. So that's pretty fucking cool. She's no longer the owner, but the store's still open today, so
that's cool.
Wicked.
Oh. I really was like, these girls were very heavily influenced by this movie. Well, at least two of them, for sure. And I honestly, if I were in this movie, I'd probably be influenced too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got to work that close to an actual Wiccan who knew what they were talking about. So it's really cool.
That's really cool. I like it.
Speaking of, so Pat Devin was a Dianic elder, priestess.
That too, maybe.
She consulted them about everything in the movie, so it can actually be
as authentic as it could be.
Yeah.
Again, that's why was so good. It was
right.
We are noticing so many details. Like, for example, when Nancy was in her vanity, I was like, oh my gosh, there's like these little bottles of hoodoo oil. Like, I just thought that was so cool because I feel like I don't see that in other movies that have that type of paranormal, supernatural, stuff. So I thought that was fucking cool.
Well, and then if you noticed also on that same thing, she had a bumper sticker that said glamour across it too. And the next scene was the glamour scene. So it's like,
I didn't notice that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I also thought it was cool if you, like, her altar was very, very dark.
Yes.
Very, very dark. And I feel like the rest of the girls, it was different. We didn't really get to see a lot of their stuff. Yeah. But I think, like, with Sarah, obviously, it was less spooky.
With Sarah, okay, so the other two girls, it was very much like both, but towards the end, definitely heavier to the darker side. Whereas with Sarah, it was always like she only like kind of dipped her toes into the darker side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's because she was already a witch on her own, like, into her own power. So, well, I don't know how many of you guys have played this. I know that we have. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. So I guess it doesn't actually require magic. Apparently, it's perfectly reasonable that 4 people could lift a 5th person a few inches off the ground with 1 finger. No witchcraft needed. I don't know about that. Maybe, I guess.
That depends on the finger. I don't know.
The person, I guess, that you're lifting.
Yeah, we could try it on an infant that's asleep.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Shut the fuck up. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I know. I know that we haven't done it together, but I remember doing it in like 7th and 8th grade, and it worked. It wasn't to the effect of the movie where they were like 3 feet up, but it worked. And all I could say is it was magic because it was not us 3 little scrawny girls trying, So I'm just saying.
But did you die?
Exactly. We didn't. But also we didn't use a Ouija board, so that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
That is one thing I've never dipped my toes on. I love how they look.
Right? They're so cool.
So beautiful. There's some really cool ones on Etsy that are like acrylic and they put flowers and glitter. And I'm like, oh, but
I love the aesthetic of it.
Yes. I love the aesthetic. I don't want fucks with it. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly. Like, I could decorate with it and just never have a planchette near it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. There you go.
Just saying. So you guys know that the god that they keep invoking, Manon, he made up. He ain't real.
Not even.
Nope. Pat Devin made it up because she didn't want anybody actually invoking a deity. So, yeah, she's like, nah, fuck that. That ain't happening. I love that.
I do like that because in a way she's keeping it real. I mean, it's not a real deity, but like, yeah, she understands the effects of all that stuff. I just think that's smart.
Super smart.
People can do their own research too. I mean, don't be lazy.
Look it up.
Yeah, put the work into it. So again, even though Pat Devin did excessive research before the movie to make sure that there was not already a deity named Manon, she eventually saw his name appear on list after the movie came out because people assumed that Manon was real. So,
because of the movie.
Yeah, because how fucking good it was.
Exactly. However, the name Manon does resemble the name of an actual Gaelic god. I'm going to mess this up. Menananan.
Manamanan.
I know, right? That's what I want to say. Manananan is the god of the sea. Invoking his spirit would have made actual sense in the movie, as Nancy has the power to walk on water and is gifted sea creatures.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, love.
So during the invocation of the spirit scene, which this is like my favorite trivia part of the whole thing. Oh my gosh, I love it.
I love it. It gave me chills when I read it.
Same. So yeah, during the invocation scene, when they're gonna invoke Manon at the beach, a bunch of spooky shit went down. Okay, so a colony of bats appeared and lingered on the set, and waves rose up and extinguished the candles used for the scene. As director Andrew Fleming described, every time the girls started the ceremony, and only when they would start the ceremony, the waves would start coming up tremendously fast, pounding heavily. Then right when Nancy says her line, "Manon, fill me," right at that exact moment, we lost power. It was a very strange thing.
Oh.
I know. That's amazing.
Goosebumps again.
I know. That's fucking amazing. And yeah, it's just incredible. Incredible.
It's cool. Like, it makes you go, what the fuck was going on? Yes, the sea is very powerful, and the fact that they actually filmed right by the ocean was crazy.
At night?
At night, because that is very dangerous to begin with. You don't turn your back on the sea at night. You don't. It's not safe.
I agree. I love the ocean. The morning, dawn, whatever, sunset. As soon as it's dark, for some reason, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So...
There are ghosts out there. No.
Yes, you're right, actually.
I know I'm right. You know how many people are in the sea? Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Hooey.
So, oh my gosh, this movie, one of my favorites. For me, it's probably top 20. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, I think so.
Just everything, again, like we said. The aesthetic of it, I just can't get over it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to bust out all my 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 chains and my
black clothes.
My spiked collars and I have my combat boots still. But,
the obby.
Yeah, and my black harness and girl, I slay. Yeah, so it's just fabulous. I love the aesthetic of it. It's just like invokes my inner goth girl.
Invokes, does it?
Yes.
I will say, this is, I think, the movie that first actually exposed me to the goth aesthetic. Mm-hmm. And it made me go, ooh, you can wear black lipstick?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. I love it.
Anyway, friends, we would love for you to follow us on our social media, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, and TikTok.
And also YouTube. We're uploading on
yes,
there.
and YouTube.
And in the future, hopefully we'll be streaming on Twitch.
Yes.
Just saying. So it's been a fabulous and magical time, Dee. But it is time for us to retire.
Oh. All right, I'll retire.
Toodaloo, fellow rebels.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Shut the fuck up. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.